Like I've explained what is actually multi-threading and multiprocessing in the last video. So if you have not watched it, I don't know what you are waiting for. Make sure to check it out. So before we dive into this of multi-threading and multiprocessing tutorial that we're going to do, make use of Python programming language. So I'll begin with that of the multi-threading. So how we can make use of multi-threading, I've explained everything multi-threading. So we need to actually import that of the word threading. That we are going to make use of this threading. This mode is going to help us to actually do all those things. So I'm going to import time because we actually want to check how fast it took to actually execute a particular function. So I can create a function, can name it tax, and then it's not going to take any input. So I'm going to create a word. I can say for x in range, maybe in range 10, and then I'm going to just I'm going to print. So I'm going to say can say x is equals to our x. So I'm going to do for the second, I can say this is tax 1. So I'm going to do for the second one, I can just call it tax 2. So let me put this here. So I'm going to say tax 2. These are just functions that are basically going to run. So I can just change this to our y, and then I can change this to our y, so we know what the output we're actually getting. So the next I want to do is actually create the process of the threading itself. So to do that, I'm going to do I'm going to do what is called, I can say thread 1, and then I'm going to do then I'm going to call this of module that we imported. What is wrong here? S in range, there's no problem there. So remember that these two guys are two different functions on this one. So what we are going to do, I can call that of the threading that we imported earlier. I can say threading the word thread. I'm going to make use of the thread class inside of this of our threading module. So what do we want to give it in? So we're going to set what is actually a target. The target is definitely, so here is supposed to be what have I done? Here is supposed to be y, and then we're going to set the function that we want to actually run. To do that, we're going to say target, a parameter target, and then I want it to run that of our tax 1. That as 1 is our function, and then I'm going to do for that of the word threading 2, going to be for to run for that of the second one. So I'm going to come here and say our threading 2, and that of the tax I can set it to 2. So you can see how simple this was. So the next thing we are going to do is actually to check the time, because what we actually did here was actually to initialize the two functions to start running. The next thing we actually need to do is actually to start the two functions to run. So I can say that of our thread 1 start. So we are going to do for that of thread 2 also. So let me just copy this. I'm going to put it down here. So you can also do for that of the thread 2. Since we're interested in doing for that of the two function, the first function the first thread that is going to do here is for that of function 1, and for that of which we named it tax 1, tax 2. So the next thing we are going to do is actually to do what is called thread 1 and thread 2 join. Because this one we are making is of join. In the situation, we want everything to actually complete before we can actually get the output, and we can stop the program. So let me just copy this. It's going to be similar thing. So it's going to be join. This is going to be join. Okay, just simple as this. So we're going to make use of this time that we imported here to calculate how long it took for this of our entire code to actually execute completely. So for us to be able to do this, so what we are going to do is to actually check how long it's going to this entire threading of a guy actually complete. So we're going to create you can say a variable start. So if you are still getting confused with what we're actually doing here, the link will be in the description down below in case you are interested in knowing how we're going to check this of how long it's going to take our time to actually how long we can how to measure a particular time for a particular section of a particular script to actually work. The link is in the description. I talked about it when I talked about time series. So we're going to do time and then this is our start. Then we can create our end here. So we can say end is going to be that of the time. There are basically many ways to actually do this. Our start is going to be what is actually here. The starting point here is as if we are trying to get our ending point. So to actually know how long it took, we can create words. We can say length, or we can say, let me make it time length. So here I'm going to say our end minus our start. It's just simple as this. So let's actually run it and know how long it took to actually execute this of our thread. We are going to do the same thing for that mode processing. So let me run it. Okay, as you can see here, I have the x and y 0 0, y became 1 and y became 1 and y is now 2, x is still remaining 1 and x is now 2. So you can see that both of them, they tend to do in kind of a multiprocessing way, but this is not actually how you actually what they actually do is you have to wait for the other ones to run, and it took us 0.009 seconds. So let's actually increase this of our while loop first, so our for loop first, for it to actually make sense. So let me set it to somewhere around 1000. Let me set something around 1000. So we're going to see how long it took us. So let me just copy this time down here. So this is our first time. I'm going to copy it and then I'm going to run this program. Okay, let me run it. As you can see, it took us time length to be 3.624 other seconds. That actually does not really matter to us. So let me just scroll up. Let's see what we have here. What is wrong with my terminal? So we can see that how it got around. The length of each of them got printed out one with total of, you can see, but we're not interested in all these guys. Let's just go down. But what we're interested in was it took us 3.62. The initial one was this time length was our 0.09. So for that of the, you can call it for 10, and for this other guy, because we are going to compare these two with that of the multiprocessing for us to see the difference. So, and this is for the, I'm going to do for this of the, this for our 1000 that we set here. So I think this is 1000 that we set. So I think with this we're able to learn how to basically do that of the multi-threading. There are so many ways to do this threading and more complex ways to achieve this multi-thread. So in any video we're going to do for that of the multi-process, we're going to check how long it took to actually execute the program completely. So I'll be happy to see in that next video. Thank you for watching.